Sony has been in the smartwatch game much longer than any other company in the market. The Smartwatch 3 is the latest from Sony to take on the likes of the LG G Watch and the Moto 360. Does the Smartwatch 3 have what it takes to fight the others off? Let's find out. At first glance, the Smartwatch 3 screams quality. The high-grade rubber band and the well-built metal clasp shows the attention to detail that Sony has put in. The design has evolved from the older smartwatches Sony made and is among the best-looking square displays out there. Now the watch has two basic components, a removable core and a rubber strap. Now the core contains all the internals and has an IP68 rating, meaning it is dust-proof and you can immerse it in 1.5 meters of fresh water for up to 30 minutes. So practically speaking, you shouldn't go out for a swim with this guy, but it will be safe against any accidental splashes. The strap has a chrome button which is the power on-off key. Now the button is flimsy to press and does not have a solid response like the one on the Moto 360. The metal clasp on the strap is adjustable and clamps securely with an audible click. Now the black strap is good to look at, but it gets dirty very easily. The Smartwatch 3 has a 1.6-inch transflective display with a resolution of 320 by 320 pixels, a pixel density of 283 ppi, which is higher than some phones out there. The transflective display is a first in an Android Wear device and has its own pros and cons. The low power display helps reduce the power consumption on the device, keeping it off the charger much longer than other devices. Because the display uses reflecting light and a backlight, it is viewable under the sun. A major drawback of the display is poor contrast. The display is just bad. Switching from the G Watch, I found the washed off display very annoying to use. Now, the default font size is tiny, making it hard to read, but there is a workaround by going to the accessibility function and switching to large fonts. The watch has an ambient light sensor which adjusts the screen brightness based on the surrounding. Apart from that, you do have an option to choose a brightness level manually. It is powered by a 1.2 GHz quad-core processor with 512 MB of RAM. Android Wear uses a simple card-style layout, so the watch packs in enough power to blaze through tasks. But surprisingly, it is slow to react when you raise your arm up to look at the time, and sometimes it fails to wake up entirely. That aside, the watch will notify you for incoming messages, calls, emails, basically anything that generates a notification on your phone. It also offers music controls when there is music playback on the phone. There's a microphone just above the display ready to listen to the OK Google voice command. The watch also has an inbuilt GPS, NFC and Wi-Fi, which are first for an Android Wear device. The GPS only works with a couple of apps like Google My Tracks and not the mainstream ones like Endomondo or Runkeeper. The NFC does one cool trick where you can simply tap the watch and it starts up and pairs with the phone. This also works when the watch is switched off. The Wi-Fi as of now is useless, but could potentially be of use in the future in case Google decides to implement it. It has a 420 mAh battery, which is the biggest battery in any wearable yet. The big battery and the power saving display result in good battery life, taking the watch through 2.5 days with my usage. And that's a really good thing because putting this watch for charging is a pain. The watch charges via a micro USB port, hence any charger can be used to charge it. But there is a tiny flap at the back that needs to be opened up to connect the cable. The flap helps the watch get the IP68 rating, which is the highest for any Android wearable. So you will have to ensure that the flap is closed properly after charging. The LG G Watch uses a magnetic dock for charging, whereas the Moto 360 uses a wireless charger, both of which are way more convenient than the micro USB port. Now that's not all. While almost every other Android Wear is compatible with aftermarket watch straps, the Smartwatch 3 is restricted to ones that Sony decides to make. Like others, the watch is compatible with phones running Android 4.3 and above. It also has 4 GB of internal storage that can be used for storing songs. If you have an Xperia smartphone, the watch can sync playlists as well. These songs can be played back when required through Bluetooth speakers or headphones. Now, what's the verdict on this one? The Smartwatch 3 is an Android Wear device aimed at an active user, someone who goes for runs and would love to leave the smartphone behind, letting the watch do all the GPS logging. But then, the health part of the product remains incomplete with the exclusion of a heart rate sensor. Priced close to 20,000 rupees, the Smartwatch 3 is the most expensive Android Wear currently available in India. If it didn't have the usability flaws, it could have commanded this price. But despite the Moto 360 not being as appealing on paper, it in fact ends up being a more usable and classier looking product. We'll wait for Sony's next attempt in hopes that these issues will be addressed. Do like this video and share it with your friends. And as always, don't forget to subscribe for more mobile reviews and app recommendations. This is Aditya from Pricebaba, signing off.